Okay, take 17. Hey everyone, welcome to my video. Welcome to my channel. First, I just want to say this is all about improving you as a musician, developing yourself, getting better, and seeing progress in your music career every single day. Go ahead and like and subscribe and follow along, please. Share with your friends. But we're going to get straight into the video. Today, I'm talking about 5 ways to grow your music career right now. So these are practical, tactical, step-by-step things that you can do, that you can be working on every day to improve on your path that you're forming here towards a more successful career. Point number 1. If you want to grow your career or any area of your life, really, grow yourself. So this is kind of goes without saying, but I got the best advice from one of my mentors in one of my jobs. It was in the music industry. It was when I was writing my very first album back in 2005, 2006 timeframe. And he said, Ryan, you want to grow in your career? You want to grow in your music? You want grow yourself before you point at, somebody else or what somebody else is doing or trying to compare yourself to someone else. Look in the mirror, grow yourself first. How can you do that? So there's a couple of key things. First, obviously, improve your musical skills. Take some lessons. So many musicians just think to themselves, oh, but I don't want to sound like Taylor Swift, or I don't want to sound like an opera singer, or I don't want to sound, too perfect or too classical or whatever. A vocal teacher can help you in so many other ways. And we're going to get there a little bit later. But first, improve your musical skills. Take some lessons. Find a mentor. So someone who is a little bit further down the road than you. It doesn't have to be, Ariana Grande. It doesn't have to be Drake. It doesn't have to be, the director of A&R for Sony Records Global. Like, find somebody who is maybe 2, 3, 4 years ahead of you. Someone who has actually seen some success. Someone who's got a bunch of, sales. They have, maybe they're producing video content just like you want to produce. Reach out to them and say, hey, can you give me some pointers? Can I, pull on you for some input? Could you help me out in my career? Finding a mentor and somebody that you can meet with like consistently, that you can talk to, it's really, really helpful. It's so important. And that's, one of the key things here. Voice coaching and instrument lessons. So again, ultimately improving and investing in yourself is not going to be, is never going to be something that you will regret, because every lesson that you have with a vocal teacher, every lesson that you have with a piano teacher or with a guitar teacher, or, one-on-one coaching with production, instruction, something that you take online, that you invest in yourself. I just see so many people, and I did it for a long time too, just going to YouTube and scrolling and finding videos and going down bunny trails of, oh, maybe I can figure out how to do this for a video, and always wanting everything for free. But I say this, even if you don't have a lot of money, even if you only have $25 or you only have $50 this month, or maybe you have a budget like $200 for the next 3 months, and you kind of break that down. Find some sort of lesson, get some recommendations from your friends. If you want, DM me and I'll give you recommendations on what kind of things maybe, help you with some goal setting and figure out what it is that you can learn. But invest in yourself. When you go beyond the step of looking for some free information on YouTube and you start looking for, how can I actually take my hard-earned money, even if it's only $100 to start, how can I take that and invest it back in myself to improve myself, to grow myself? That's where you want to focus some of your time and attention. Maybe I hear also, people talking about their songs and writing a better song or writing a good song. There are songwriting coaches out there who can take you one-on-one, just like a guitar lesson, just like a song, like voice lessons. They can sit you down on Zoom or in person and give you some, tactical feedback on your material, how to improve. They can give you homework assignments that are going to help you, and not just useless waste of time stuff. Like, they'll give you stuff that is actually going to help you to write a song, like step 1 of finding a good title or finding a good idea or whatnot. So, some really quick, easy ideas. Production coaching, how to record yourself better, whether that's tips on, like somebody you can find at your local music store. If you're in Canada, like Long and McQuaid, there'll be a link down below. You can walk in there to the pro shop and ask them anything, and they are like full. There's a lot of people there that have a lot of knowledge, and they can help you not just with selling you the right equipment, but saying, okay, like here's what you can literally do, step one to get better. And again, I can provide some feedback there. Music industry coaching. So these are those people who are actually experts in the field. If you attend workshops, you attend, Music Week Canada, you sign up for, I know in the city of Toronto, there some of the different universities where I live, they have workshops where they bring in industry professionals. Some of them are exclusively online right now, and you can sit in and have those Q&A sessions. You can reach out and connect with people who are in the industry, even following them on their socials, following them on podcasts, pulling in some of that quality information from all sorts of different areas that you can focus on to improve yourself. And then here's one great thing that I came across. It's called CMI.org, the Canadian Music Incubator. And what they do is they look for young, old, and anywhere in between new musicians who are just starting out. Maybe you've grown a little bit. Maybe you have a bit of a fan base, 1,000, 2,000 followers. Maybe you have 10,000 followers or more. They have coaching from some extremely influential and well-experienced people. And one thing that I did personally a while back was I invested. You can do like a set of one-on-one coaching sessions, 3 sessions for $100, or somewhere around that, maybe 120, and if there's a fee or something. But it's like one-on-one, a full hour session that you can choose and really think to yourself, what do I want to improve on? So I ended up speaking with someone who was like an A&R rep. So that's the person who's actually sourcing and finding artists and filtering artists, creating development plans for artists, who worked at like one of the largest record labels for 15, 20 years. And he's very well connected in the music industry. And I got a 1-hour meeting with him to sit down and say like, okay, here's where I'm at. How can I get to the next step? Like that is a well invested $100. So anyway, there's a link down below. Please feel free to check it out. So the point is, grow yourself, invest some hard-earned dollars, some cash money to improve yourself. All right. Invest dollars and be smart with how you spend. So many tactics and so many things out there you'll see on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook. Like, oh, if you give us $150, we're going to buy your way onto so many Spotify playlists, and we'll, buy ads on Facebook, and that's going to help promote your next single. Look, if you don't have a plan and you don't want to just be throwing away money, there's experts that can help us on these things, and learning to become an expert is one of those things that you can do in these areas, like buying ads for promotions for releases and planning your releases and everything, which we'll talk a little bit more in a couple minutes. But invest dollars. Like, it's not like free information. You cannot build a music career on free information online. It's just not going to happen. Those days of, actually there were never days of that. You have to invest in yourself and invest in your career. So that's my point. But you want to be smart. And last point, know yourself and set goals based on what's important to you. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. I've got another point about knowing yourself and knowing what your goals really are. Because if you're 100% happy just playing for yourself, for your family, and for your dog, let's say, your immediate family, bringing joy to your mom, to your dad, to your friends, to your, like guardian or your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, anything, and for yourself, and just doing music for the sake of loving music, then that is your goal. And so then you should set your goals and focus on how you want to grow to reach that goal. If your goal, though, is to gain an audience, to grow, and you want your songs that you're hard, at work, and your videos that you're hard at work making, you want them to reach beyond just your family and your dog and your one aunt that thinks you can sing so great, even though sometimes days you sound like a frog that's being strangled by a cat. Like, honestly, if you have goals beyond just your immediate self and your circle, you have got to grow yourself. You have to work on getting yourself to a higher level, to a more skillful and excellent level. Okay, my second point is to think less like an artist and more like a business person. So this is a tough one. This is a tough one that I had to swallow as well, but it's very important. It starts with the goal and starts with the point, again, of knowing yourself. You got to know, are you just happy making music for yourself and your dog, or do you want the whole world or all of country of Canada, or all of, Peru, or wherever you're listening from? Like, do you want the whole world to experience your music and experience you, this unique, interesting thing that you're saying? It starts with that kind of goal. I'm just going to look at some of my notes here. So, okay, do me a favor. Think of your absolute favorite restaurant. For those of you who are locked down in pandemic and maybe you've been ordering food from places on, like Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes or whatever. Think of a restaurant that you've tried recently that has become a favorite. Or think back to your favorite go-to number one restaurant. Why is it your number one favorite? Think for a second. Is it the food? Is it the amazing flavors? Is it just it's got this certain, something about the people and how friendly they are when you go to pick up your order? Is it the ambience in the restaurant? Likely, if it's a restaurant, it's keeping you coming back because it's really good food. It tastes damn delicious, whether it's McDonald's or whether it's some 5-star restaurant. So now think of a restaurant that you've ordered from, that you got the food and it was like, yeah, okay, so my tummy's full, but am I ever going back there again? No. What was lacking about that restaurant? It might have been the atmosphere, it might have been customer service, it might have been some of these things, but I guarantee you the number one reason you've got in your head, the food sucks. The food is not up to par, or there's better, more delicious food elsewhere. That is how we have to start thinking as an artist. We've got to think and remember. And I know artists don't always like to hear this because we're super creatives and we like to just be in touch with ourselves and the universe and everything. You are a product. Your music is your product. And so a business person is always thinking, how can I improve my product? Is this the best quality product or service or whatever that they're putting out there? So again, know yourself, know your strengths. If you're being a high quality, skillful musician, that is what attracts people. That is what appeals to people. Being authentic, being true, and being skillful at doing it. Because you've got a lot of really heartfelt, authentic singers and songwriters, guitarists, musicians out there, and they just don't have the chops. They don't got skills up to that level, and so they don't draw people in. So being authentic and being your real self, yes, but you've got to be skillful. Now, skillful doesn't mean you have to be a virtuoso. So you don't have to have runs like Tori Kelly or like Beyonce, or you don't have to have notes like Mariah Carey that go up to the stratosphere. I mean, you don't have to be a Jennifer Hudson who just opens her mouth and can have this powerful voice and sing acoustically to fill a stadium. You don't have to be someone else's strengths, but you have to know what your strength is. So think and ask take out a piece of paper and say, as a singer, what is my number one strength? If you don't know what that is, how are you supposed to improve it? How are you supposed to develop it? Or not only improve it, but how are you supposed to highlight it? And then are your songs that you're writing highlighting it? Are the covers that you're choosing to do on your video, are they highlighting your number one strength as a singer? And maybe that is, belting out notes right around that, low, middle C, B, D, range if you're a female singer, like an alto. Or if you're a tenor, maybe you've got this 2 or 3 big, huge notes that you can belt out, or you've got that pure, simple, sweet falsetto kind of head voice, and you'd like to do covers of people like Sam Smith or Justin Timberlake that have that register where they can kind of really focus on their falsetto. Whatever your strength is, that's what you want to highlight. So then you are starting to think more like a business person, okay, my voice, my product that I'm putting out there online, which is your videos or your singles or your releases, are they actually highlighting what my strengths are as a musician? Because you want to be singing songs about what means something to you, what's true, what's real, what's pure. But on the flip side, you want to also be presenting them in a way that is complementary to you as a singer, that's making you actually shine, and that's why I find, kind of to just go on a bunny trail here for a sec, working with other singers and singing other people's music sometimes is the greatest detriment, or it can be the greatest strength. And it really depends on picking the right song. Sometimes people ask me, how do I find the right song? How do I pick a song for an audition? How do I pick a song? How do I choose what my next single is, the next cover song that I'm going to do on YouTube? And, you know, like my advice to some of my students and others is usually, well, what are we trying to highlight about your voice? What's the point of putting this song out? Is it because you want to be famous and you just want people here? Or is it just because you love to sing? Or, you know, like, what are we trying to highlight? What is our goal here? What are we trying to do? And if we're trying to be like, I want people to highlight my ability and my skill as a musician, well, then we should be singing a song that sits in the right register, is in the right key for you, is in the right tone and timbre for you. It's in your genre. It's going to help to, you know, like highlight what your strengths are. Okay, I could go on for hours on this point, but that's what it is. That's my point. Even singing in a really simple style. So maybe you're somewhere more along the lines of, you know, country or folk singer and just really peeled down to guitar and vocal. Singing in a simple way still takes great level of skillfulness and expertise. And so you want to be thinking like, am I putting my best foot forward? Am I really highlighting my best features here? All right, let's move on. The next one. So as a business person, you need to improve your product. And, you know, we talked a little bit about this more, but I've got, you know, I've got to help you think about it in a way that makes sense. And so for me, what made sense was to think, okay, what is my product? What do I want my product to look like? And right now I'm talking about video, for example, choosing a song and making a video and putting it online. So I'm not singing right now. I'm kind of, you know, have my setup for this kind of informational video, instructional video, but, you know, who are you listening to? What kind of quality of YouTube videos are you listening to? And ask yourself, why am I listening to this? Am I listening to this video, you know, if you're researching or just browsing or getting inspiration? But if we're talking about actually putting out a better video or putting out a better song, what are you listening to? So, because what you're listening to is going to help to set the bar of what sort of music you're going to try to produce. And so, you know, the type of video content, for example, that you're listening to as an artist, if you're doing a cover video or like small videos from home, is really important. So somebody that I thought was absolutely phenomenal and can drop a video and in 2 months have 3, 4, 500,000 views or 1 million views or more is someone named Joseph Solomon. So if you look up Joseph Solomon on YouTube, if you haven't heard him already, unbelievable. He's just a soulful, amazing vocalist. He plays guitar and he's got a bunch of covers. There's one cover called X Factor by Lauryn Hill, and beautiful video production, amazing, simple, you know, like very, very simple setting. And it's just him singing with his guitar, but it is so well done, so well executed. And yeah, he's got a little bit of, you know, money he's invested in his equipment and whatnot, but check that video out. For me, for example, that would be like, snap, my next single that I release as even a cover song, if I just want to take some time and rehearse and put out something of that quality, when it comes to video quality, it comes to the audio quality sounding good, man, that's the kind of target that I'm going for. And so if you're looking for something, you know, to put out music, instead of just flicking your iPhone on really quickly, ask yourself like, okay, what about the lighting? What about the audio? What am I doing this video to improve from last video rather than just like keeping status quo? So we've got to think like a business person more than just like an artist. It's not just about creating something. It's about creating something, putting it in the right envelope and to a high enough caliber and to get it out there. Improve your songs, get feedback before posting your songs using the stencil technique. So that is literally like what I talked about. Look at someone who's killing it like Joseph Solomon and break it down exactly. Okay, he's got plants. He's got a plant in front. He's got a plant behind. He has a wall that looks, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 feet behind. And he's got, looks like there's light coming from this side. There's light coming from maybe the floor. And I don't know what kind of camera he's using, but I can see the microphone physically that he's using. Okay, so now those things, how can I apply that? I can okay, I've got my garage, I've got my living room, I've got my bedroom. I need to be 10 feet from the back wall. Okay, well, maybe that means I need to have my stool like right almost against the opposite wall. Okay, and then I've got plants here. Well, we've got a plant in the living room. I've got a plant out in the garage downstairs. So maybe I can, you know, and literally go through and try to recreate your interpretation of their video, even just for the set. That is a great way to get advice, like to get tips rather than starting from scratch. Don't just copy someone whose video looks average. copy someone or strive to be at that level who someone's video looks like unbelievable, mind-blowing, incredible content. Break it down and implement at least one thing in your next video. So there's a tip. And then look at your IG or your Facebook, your Instagram. You can optimize it. So for example, Canadian artist that I love, he's from Toronto. He's got great songs, amazing voice, very skillful. He does all his own production. Like such a talented guy that's constantly working to improve himself. Tyler Shaw. So I put @Tyler Shaw at Instagram. Look at his Instagram. So even how the top is set up, you know, like how he does his description, what his picture looks like, how his stories are laid out, and then how his highlight reel goes across the front, right down to his feed, everything. For example, that's someone that is really doing well. He's on the radio. He's got, you know, like top 10 tracks in Canada. Every time he releases something, it like tracks right up to the top. Man, he is killing it. And so what kind of content is he producing? And how can you, you know, like break it down, look at how an artist like that, like, so who's your artist that you're not trying to emulate or copy, but someone that you're inspired by, that you would, you know, love to be at their level, producing content at their level. If you don't have those names written down and a target, and you haven't chosen like one video or one, you know, Instagram post or one reel that you want to kind of implement in the similar style in your own feed, then you're missing out on some way that you can improve in your career. Anyhow, we're going to go on. The next point is market your releases better. Okay, so this is another important one that I just learned the hard way back in the summer of 2020, so last year. Early in the spring, I started working on a couple of new singles. One of them is called Love in a Box, and the other one is called Just Say Yes. So those are the two new tracks that I released a few months back. And the first one that I released was Love in a Box. And when I first released it, I actually did a re-release after the fact because I was just so excited. I finally got technical difficulty with my screen. That's okay. I finally got my listing back from, or all of my files back from my, sorry, PowerPoint. Edit this point out. I finally got my stuff back from my audio engineer, and I like threw it right online straight away. But then I hadn't done any marketing, really. I told some friends and I put some posts like, oh, new track coming. And then the next day, oh, can't wait for the new track to come. And I put, you know, I was just kind of going at it by the seat of my pants. So it was just like, oh, I was excited. I was posting the excitement, which was good. And it got, you know, like some momentum generated a little bit. But how did I want to really take it to the next level? Okay, so then I came across somebody who is amazing as a coach, and I registered for their product, registered for their monthly subscription, started having some, you know, one-on-one emails with them, and I learned so much and realized all the things that I was doing wrong for marketing my songs. And so this post alone, the screen, I've got 3 videos that I'm planning to do just about this, where I'm going to break it down for you. I've got templates of like what to do from the day, from your, if release day is, you know, like on day 1, what do you do the 30 days before that and the 30 days after that? So kind of really looking like a 2-month cycle, where if you want to be releasing a track every month, you've kind of got to stagger those on top of each other. And it's very, very simple to schedule it out once you have a plan. So, but I was asking myself, like, okay, am I posting every single day leading up to the release? And are those all scheduled out? Do I have a plan of what they are? On top of the bits of story and excitement that I want to post, like, what is my plan? Looking at, are all of the assets ready? Like, so there's just the one track, the one WAV file, or the main, you know, song that's going to be on Spotify. But that's not the only thing that you have to do to be successful when releasing a track. I mean, there's probably 10 or 12 different assets, audio and video assets, that you really should prioritize creating when you're going to release a song. So like an official music video. Even if it's just the audio track in the background and you walking through the park, walking down the street, you know, where you're not actually singing the song, there's a million different ways that you can do that, but have you planned out? And is it going to be ready by release date? And if it's not, you know, maybe you need to look at what your release date is and kind of include that in the ramp up. A lyric video. So having, again, some sort of visual going on the screen, but then the lyrics following along. A live performance video, and then you can have like an unplugged version of you just playing it with your guitar, your friend playing guitar and you playing it. Or then you can have like a duet version that you've done on Zoom with someone, and you release that on, day 10 after the key release. Or maybe there's a remix version where you have a DJ that you've met, or somebody that you can look up on socials and do kind of some sort of collab where they use your song and they release it, they give you back a mix that's like kind of like a hip hop or a dance remix or something. You can do different formats. You can do short, chopped up formats, get those ready to post in your reels, to post in your story. So there's all of these assets, and making one big long list of those assets, and then planning out, okay, if I release this video or my main track and the official video on day 1, and I push that for 3 days, then you release the next content piece, which is maybe the lyric video. Then you push that for 3-4 days. Then you have the next one. Then you push that for 3-4 days. And if but if you don't have those planned out, or you don't have those even in your plan, you're missing opportunities for your song to start gaining momentum, to start tracking, to how do you get up to that, somebody, I did my releases, and then, they were at 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and it was continuing to go up from on Spotify, for example, or on iTunes. And they're like, man, how did you get your song to do that? This is exactly how I got my song to do that. Both of the tracks. And so I have a schedule, and it looks basically something like this, where my next track that I'm planning right now is called Angel Wings, and I've got a promo plan. And so it literally goes, this is month 1. You can kind of have a drop down menu in the top here, and you can just change the month to February or April or whatever. So I'm planning for March, let's say, for the promo. So it's going to launch at the end of March. So then what am I doing every single day? There's a few days that are blank. This is like the beginning of the month, but every single day you can see there's a little bit of activity that I've got. Anyway, planning your releases better is the number 3 or 4 way that you can make your music career grow. Okay, wait for it. This is the last one that we're really going to talk about. Very important. It comes from an artist who is highly well loved the world over by other artists, by people in the industry, and has held the record on YouTube for like the highest viewed videos, hands down, period, of all time. Ed Sheeran boils it down into 2 simple things. And the first 4 points are the first thing, which is be good. Be good at what you're doing. And the second thing is be nice. So the days of people just being a jerk to other people and expecting to get by and to improve and to grow and to gain, followership on the internet, long gone. Those days are long gone. So be nice to people. Compliment other people. Empty, like messages, just like, hey, I noticed I really like your feeds. Check out my video here. Because I really want you to come and watch me on YouTube. Here, subscribe and like. And I get these DMs from people that I've never heard from before. And I'm just thinking like, God, they're just looking to take something from me. They're not giving anything. I don't have a conversation with them. I don't know them. But it's like, actively just DMing random people in your list that happen to subscribe to you. That's not being nice. That's not a way that you're going to actually gain somebody to be a true follower, like a real follower, someone who's going to download your stuff, someone who's naturally going to share your music and go back and put you in their own playlists and share them on their socials of their own volition. Like, people are going to do that. Just be nice. Start off. Be good to everybody. What goes around comes around. Karma in the music industry, and it's actually a very small circle compared to what most people think. They think it's this infinite universe of endless profiles and people that never end out there, but it's actually a pretty small world. And when you're wanting people to come to your show or come to a release or support your album or do a collaboration, being nice goes a long way. Giving something with nothing in return, with nothing in return. So be good at what you're doing, like be skillful on all fronts, and be nice. Okay, so remember the slide, grow yourself. We talked about this earlier. I want to focus on 2 things really quick for a sec. And that's vocal coaching and songwriting coaching. So grow yourself. A good vocal coach, because many artists come to me and say like they don't believe that a vocal coach can really help them, but they can help you sound like your true self. So they can help you access your real voice. You're not going to sound like Broadway, like if you're learning technique. If you have a singer, a vocal coach, and you're not learning from them, or you're starting to feel like, oh, me, doing weird exercises that are not helpful. Like if you don't leave your voice coach with feeling like, wow, I learned something that I can actually apply that helped me. I'm a little bit better today. After one lesson, I'm a little bit better. And then after your next lesson, oh wow, I learned that they helped me think a little bit better or identify some issues. I'm a better singer today. They're not worth paying week after week for. Somebody that can actually help you develop your voice week after week, like they are worth going to. And maybe you need to start spreading them out or something, but they can help you this way. You can learn to reach higher notes and lower notes. So you actually can improve as a singer. So many people are only, limited to the types of songs that they can pick to do as cover songs because they can't even reach the notes, or it doesn't feel comfortable, or they have such a limited range because they haven't learned, good vocal technique or found a teacher that can actually help them improve. And so they're singing like they've got one artist or two artists they can cover who also have little small limited range. And they haven't even developed and figured out what sort of artists they could even be and the potential that they have because their voice is so limited. So a vocal coach can actually help you. Also like performance tips, how you look on camera. Recording yourself back and having a professional give you feedback on, oh, you do this weird thing where you're kind of picking the side of your nose, or, stop playing with your hair, or you're too close to the microphone, or you're too close. Don't forget to look at the camera. Don't forget to smile. I don't know, different. There's so many different elements that actually having a professional give you feedback can help you with, and they can develop studio technique. Okay, so this is one important thing, especially if you're producing music online versus live, and doing a studio recording singing versus a live performance singing. There are drastically different approaches to singing for the studio so that you sound and you come across a certain way in a microphone in the studio versus when you're singing on an SM57 or an SM58, or whatever kind of like other live microphone that you're singing on a stand with a cord in a live room, or like in a live setting. You've got to approach those performances completely different. And if right now you sing to yourself acoustically in the room, or you sing yourself and you're used to hearing through a karaoke machine or through a set of speakers, and now you're trying to just carry that over and just sing the same way when you're going to when I lost my screen, that's okay. When you're going to record your song, like you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, and you're not gonna be as good as you could. The second thing is songwriting coaching. They actually can help you improve. For one of the key things is they can identify what's wrong or what's missing in your songs. I posted a video about this already, like how you can, why your song could be improved in a few quick ways, 10 ways actually, that you can quickly improve your songs. But a good songwriting coach can give you that. You can read all the pointers you want online, and you can think, oh yeah, I've got good rhyme, or oh yeah, the melody's catchy. Yeah, my chords make logical sense. Oh yeah, it leads up and I feel like it builds. Until somebody else, maybe your friends think the same, but then it won't get beyond that circle, maybe for you. A songwriting coach that actually is skillful in this area, that has experience in the industry and has written other great songs, and this is what they do. There are a lot of people out there, and they can actually help you very quickly and easily identify, okay, this is something that you can do to improve. Your song is really missing this. Or if we add, whatever, they can help you. I won't go into specifics because it's a whole ball of wax that we could get into, but it really can improve your songs. And for one, it's a second set of ears from a professional, not just from a friend or from another artist, but from a professional that can say, okay, your pacing and your momentum, this is how we can improve it. Because pacing and how the song feels through, especially if you're before you ever get to a recording session, how your song is, you know, if you're writing with your guitar, you're writing with the piano, or you're writing just to like a beat machine, how the structure of your lyrics and how long the phrases are and how many bars, like the breakdown of the song, can make or break your song. You can be shooting yourself in the foot before you ever get to actually producing or recording your tracks. And knowing when, even once you have your track, you know, like roughly done, before it gets like, when you're doing a demo, let's say, before you actually do your studio version, bring it to a professional. Like, you should be getting professional help on that. And anyway, if anyone is interested in these 2 points, for example, I offer services on this. This is not a sales pitch. You know, this whole video wasn't leading up to this, but I'm just putting it out there because I do have a few students that I work with. So shoot me an email if you're interested. You can get me at hello@ryanresmer.com, DM me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email, phone. Just don't come up to me in the grocery store. Somebody did rip their mask down. Hey, it's me from Instagram. It's COVID and I don't want to get sick. All right. So anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to drop, I know this is long, but if you stuck around, I hope you got something out of this. This is like pretty much a 45-minute workshop that I would do, that I would, you know, like generally have the opportunity to do out there, but I wanted to document it on YouTube for some of these key points. Some things that I've really been working on my own career that I've really seen some gains. And I was thinking, okay, these are the key things I've been focusing on. It's really helped me. I just want to put it out there and share. So if you liked what you heard, please send me a comment, like the video, share it on your, you know, socials or whatnot, and do subscribe and sign up for notifications. And then hopefully I'm really wanting to put out some more content. If you want to hear of anything in specific, or there's a particular topic that you want me to cover or that you want, send me a message or shout it in the comments like, hey, send me a video on blank. Let me know and I'll put it in the list. I will definitely consider putting it out there, because I really want this channel to be about helping artists, helping other people, and not just, you know, cutting through all the crap and actually producing and talking about the things that are really going to help, that are really going to make a difference today in your music, or in your music career. All right, so that's everything. Signing off for now. Check out some other videos and we'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and turn on notifications. You can also follow us on all other socials at Resmer Music. See you next time. The reasons I had in my head are